down. We got our Earl Grey from England. Oh no, this is from Sri Lanka. It's really great. Got some really great stamps. Sri Lanka. Look at this. I mean, this is a cool way. This is how cool the world is. I don't know if you can see that, but there's just beautiful floral stamps and birds and flowers and orchids and a tiger. It says Sri Lanka Post on it. Can you see any of that? Sri Lanka Post. I got too much light there. Anyway, it's just beautiful. So I'm drinking my Sri Lanka tea today. What a world we live in. What a great world we live in, right? So let's get down to, let's get over to LinkedIn. My goofy notifications don't work anymore on Restream. They quit working. I don't know why. They pass it through still, but they don't. And got this Wednesday. Okay, so Periscope's working, but I think it shuts off tomorrow. I reloaded LinkedIn and now I got it. So we can test the sound. There it goes. Okay, we got a lot of people today. Got a lot of mail to talk about, mail stuff. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglosh for the Wisconsin DMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. Okay, well, here's a story for you. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, Style Consultant. This is a funny story. Volkswagen released an announcement that it had changed its name to Voltswagen because it's doing such cool stuff with electric cars, right? And not everybody was so happy about it. It was supposedly leaked to the media, and then there was another announcement that said that it was a public declaration of the company's future forward investment in e-mobility, and there were press releases, and there were the founder supposedly said that this name change signifies a nod to our past as the people's car and our firm believer that our future is in being the people's electric car. Okay, so that's nice. But anyway, it was off. It looks like going to be a cool car. And this goes, it turns out it's an April Fool's thing. Got a lot of press, okay? CNN was offended by this because it says Volkswagen is the same company that perpetrated a massive fraud and lied to regulators about its diesel emissions in 2015. Now, 2 points to make. One, CNN perpetrated the greatest lie in human history, practically, about the Charlottesville, we'll call it the Charlottesville hoax, which was completely debunked on their own site. They had a video of the entire set of comments, but continued to lie about it for 4 years, and probably still to this day. So CNN, king of the liars, calls out Volkswagen. The other side of this story is the Volkswagen diesels got 80 miles per gallon, okay? But there's some tricks in the diesel emission standards put in by the U.S. automakers who, if you remember, when they started doing diesel engines, used regular engine blocks and just put in different pistons that couldn't stand the heat of a diesel engine. So they were selling, U.S. automakers were selling fake diesel engines, and they didn't want to be compared with the European diesels, which were real and got 80 miles per gallon. And so the Volkswagen tricked up their cars, which they knew were way better than the U.S. diesels, and they got them to pass emissions so that if anybody was poking the engine, it gave readings that were really good on things like, extra stuff that was happening. Which were the things that tripped up why we never got the European diesels, because our fuel was crappy. It had a lot more junk in it, okay? The Europeans had better quality diesel fuel, so their emissions were better, and their mileage was insanely better. So all Volkswagen was trying to do was deliver a great car to America, And all they got from CNN was accused of lying. Now, here's the punchline on this one, which I really like. Okay, it turns out that it sent Volkswagen shares 5% higher on the Frankfurt Stock Exchange and 12% higher, which even after they went down a bit, closed up 9%. That's a huge move. So way to go, Volkswagen. Way to use the fake media to get your fake news faked out everybody. I think it's great. Here's an article by Bob Bly, who I have collaborated with a little bit, and one of the great copywriters, if you need a copywriter. And he says, here's 4 ways to build your email list. Okay. And one of them is, as you might guess, because I'm the direct mail evangelist. Direct mail. He says self-mailers, folders that can be sent by mail without enclosure in an envelope or without an envelope. Gum stickers to hold the leaves together, or postcards are inexpensive ways to do it. But what should they offer? Whatever it is, build a tie-in to sign up so that you actually build your list. Here's 2 bad examples of not having no offer. This is from a local printer who sent them to me, so it's not Every Door Direct. This one it talks about the foil stamping. I think it was supposed to be in time for Valentine's Day, but it didn't make it. Okay, no offer, no 10% off your foil if you call today. No send for more information. No nothing. Just a phone number. Here's an additional piece from City Press. Is these the same guys? This one's City Press Waukesha. This one is Paragon Printing. So I think they're 2 different mailers, but they both have a sort of a similar look. Okay, no, this guy has done 2 mailers to me with no offer, and this is a new one from City Press. Get out ahead of your competition. Okay, Snazzy, Miglosh Marketing in reverse print, which you never want to use reverse print, but it shows that you can do personalization in 4 color. Again, no offer. Okay, just want to make that point. If you're claiming to be a direct marketing or direct mail printer, you might want to just send me a PDF, give me a call, and I'll say, hey, where's your offer? Same thing I said to Oakley Sunglasses. They handed me their mailing piece that they were going to test because of our program we did with the USPS back in the day. And I said, where's your offer? They said, oh, right here in the fine print. I said, that doesn't count. Nobody's going to see that. You're not going to get any responses. Okay, so if you're going to build your email list, you want to have an offer. Okay, here's another one. Lead generation strategies for PSPs. I hate when somebody does an acronym and doesn't tell me what it is. I pieced together that it's probably poor, silly printers, because he makes the point that a lot of printers don't do mail that want to get more mail. There's a start. Start doing mail, and not to sound too high and mighty about this. I don't do mail much either. Although I've got a new thing going, and I got 2 calls. At least it's getting like 100% response. I won't explain how it works, but it's working really well. It's a little putsy, but it is mail. So, in 40 years or something, I've only done about 4 mailers. One of the problems is you got to look up somebody's address by hand if they're connected with you on LinkedIn, which I'm doing. But every day I'm sending 2 of them out. And you know what? Eventually, at the end of the year, I'll have sent out 400 or more. You don't know. But every day is going to get 2 of them sent out. And we're working hard on making it sustainable. So Karen Kleimerer, I think that is how you say it, says direct mail is a traditional lead generation method. She mentions direct mail more than any article I've seen in a long time. She says, top methods for lead generation, direct mail. 70% of people use direct mail. So we're going to use more direct mail because I want to be consistent with this. Direct mail use was significantly more popular than email marketing among PSPs, achieving double-digit growth. So she somehow surveyed the surveyed the PSPs. She never explains what a PSP is. It could be a public service promotion. It could be a postscript. A postscript period. I don't know what it is. It's a shame to give it such prominence. I think she's assuming that I read her first. This is a second in the series, but I didn't. I just skipped right to this one. Direct mail is more effective. Although this does not necessarily mean that direct mail is more effective in generating revenues, these findings cause some to question why high-growth PSPs are placing a greater focus on mail to bring in new business. Okay, this is a good point down here. It's about balance. She says, to get the most from your lead generation budget, it's important to employ the right mix of tactics and timing to improve the sales pipeline. That's one of the things people forget. It's not how many leads you generate, especially if you have a nice follow-up. I had a client that did a $40 per piece follow-up. They mailed like this box, and it had magnets that you could stick together. And this is for a consumer product, okay? And it really worked really well. I thought they were crazy. But, that was the second step on a multi-step program, or the third step, actually. They did some media advertising. That's step one. They got them to the website. That's step two. They followed up with a postcard. That's step three. And if they were still interested and came into the store or sent it back, store, step four. Step five was this beautiful box that they got. So I guess it was a good winnowing that went through there. And we've talked about that case study before, so I won't mention it again. But anyway, so this is an excellent article. If you want your this was what made me think. Sometimes you don't think I read to the end of these articles. If you want your customers to buy direct mail, you must lead by example. What an idea. And use highly effective direct mail. I know a lot of printers who are going to omni-channel marketing. You know what? Start with mail. Build some mail. I'm doing a startup or a relaunch of a website, and it's going to be big and a lot of support. And I'm explaining to them that we should be doing 500,000 piece drops of a cooperative piece with offers that pull people back to our site so that they can register to get the offer. It make the whole thing a registration campaign supported by our merchants who want this thing to go. And I think it's going to go. I think we're going to get that worked out. But your own direct mail campaign can serve as proof as well as a living case study. Right. Like if you listen to Andrew Ettinger, he talks about these HVAC guys, and they've cut digital to nothing or maybe zero. He had a post yesterday that Facebook spends 2/3 of their ad budget outside of social media. Now, I wrote him a couple of times and commented that might not count all the times that Facebook tells you, you could boost this post, you could boost this post. I get one of those at least 1 or 2 a week. Do those count in their budget, or do they count those as just free? Okay, because that would be worth hundreds of millions. It would tip the scale. Okay, I'm assuming they don't count those, that's just built into their system. So they don't really spend 2/3 of their budget outside of social media. But the problem is for Facebook and everybody that has some success in social media, it's difficult to scale. It's difficult to push the envelope beyond a certain point. It's a little bit like word of mouth. It's wonderful. It's great if you can get it to happen. But, you can't really rely on it because it's unreliable. People are just not talking about your company that often, right? One of the best ways to get pass along is to send them something to pass along. So when we were mailing multiple catalogs to the same person, it wasn't the same necessarily household. It could be somebody that had multiple homes in different states, but we tracked it down and we found out that when we mailed them more, we got a lot of business. Like we got 3 times more business from the neighbors than we did from the customers within a particular window. which we think was because we sent them the catalog on, and people came over and said, "Where'd you get that furniture?" And here, have this catalog. I just got this in the mail. Check it out. Well, that's a heck of an endorsement, and it's a product trial or a product demo. So one of the best things about mail in the consumer world, especially, is back when computers, I was one of the pioneers suggesting that computers could be used in marketing. Little did I know they would take it over. But in those days, I remember going to a seminar, not a webinar, at the DMA show, and they were arguing that by cleaning our list, merge purge it was called in those days, merge purge, you would merge the mailing list you were renting and you would eliminate the duplicates, because they said, isn't it obviously better to send a second household your catalog than it is to send two catalogs to the same house? And I thought, because I'm that wicked direct mail marketer, direct marketing guy, I said, why don't we test it? Let's test it and see what happens. And it was funny? We got fewer calls and complaints about, why are you sending me two catalogs on the same day in the same house? That part did change. The part that didn't change was the overall response rate. If they were right, it should have gone up. We should have got more orders from that second household than we did from two to the same household. And so if you just take the number of orders divided by the number of pieces mailed, the merged list should have done better. We had a better response, but it didn't. Why? Because I think they gave them to a friend, and the friend was much more likely to buy than just a random second household on a mailing list, right? And someone that's on the mailing list twice is much more likely to do something valuable with it. And so what we changed, instead of purging, I stopped the purge and I said, you know what? We'll just hold these duplicates and mail them a week or two later so they don't get them on the same day. And that accomplished stopping the crazy calls and also got us the pass along that we were looking for. And that was the best solution ever. You won't hear that from most data guys because they all make money on that purge. Okay, so successful PSPs, whatever that is, send direct mail on a monthly basis. I'm sending it on a daily basis. It's a great article. Like and subscribe. Oops, I forgot to click it back here. Okay, it's a great article that you didn't get to see because I had the wrong screen, but nobody commented, which is a shame. And I see there's a lot of people there. Got a lot of hearts. Anyway, it's a great article. If you go to the wdma.org and subscribe for free, you can get into the members only area and you can get this entire article and read it for yourself, plus everything else we talked about today. Have a great day. Like and share. Your friends will know you're smart. And we already have posted on the WDMA the next meetup, which are getting to be very, very popular. And we've got all of the calendar dates and everything all, I think, right. And we're going to actually send you a reminder and send you the links a couple of times so that you don't, because people keep saying to me, I lost the link. Don't ever underestimate your audience. Have a nice day. Like and share. Your friends will know you're smart.